Weaponized podcast, WATP.
Do you know anything about Lisa Boswell and Helga Man of that reality show?
No.
Good, because I can't wait to introduce you to these two. They're my favorite elderly trans women on all of the internet. And I decided to go back. So we started covering them a couple of weeks ago. And since then, they've become huge celebrities. They're up over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. They're very excited with themselves. We've kind of changed their show a little bit in certain ways by just talking about it. So I thought, let me go back to an episode before we were talking about them to get a better sense of what was going on before we kind of, I don't know, empowered them in a certain way. So they did an episode that was all about appreciating their viewers and their friends. And they talk about the viewers. Now, this episode I'm pulled from has 50 views on YouTube. Right.
Okay.
It's not super popular at this point. But I appreciate that they appreciate those who watch their show.
But you know something? I don't really care about talking about Donald Trump today.
Neither do I.
What I'd like to talk about is viewers, viewer appreciation.
Yeah.
Because I have found some things out over the last week or so.
We got some really, really loyal viewers that really love us because they figured out what we're up to and figure out what we're doing because we're trying to entertain as well as inform.
So I love that your face just lit up when you saw Lisa Boswell, who's my favorite person on the internet right now.
Dude, you know what they remind me of right now? Remember SNL Zagat's, Chris Farley and Adam Sandler?
Oh, yes.
Like they're the two old people.
Right.
Like, oh, look, Hank. Like, like they seem like they're in character. They don't seem like they're really being themselves. They seem like they're playing characters
Yes.
of like trans ladies. Yeah,
It does seem that way, and they've also been compared to Beavis and Butthead, and it's funny that they're sitting in the right places on the couch too to be Beavis and Butthead. And we've talked about the idea of maybe making this into an animated series, taking their actual audio and just turning it into a cartoon with them talking.
And they want you to let you know that they're old because they have a typewriter. I haven't seen a typewriter since 1987.
Right.
And they have like that typewriter's as old as us, like sitting back there.
Older than us, yes. And Helga Man was a writer back in the day, so Helga likes to show that she is a writer, and they have the old typewriter. But Lisa Boswell, the blonde here on the right, Lisa's my favorite. I love her cadence. I love her speech pattern. She has impeccable timing. And what was great is last night on Tukey Soup, I finally got to hear Tukey's impression of Lisa Boswell, and I think he might do it better than I do. I have to give, not a surprise. He's very good with impressions, but he did a great job.
What's that skull and crossbone, though, behind her? What is that?
I'm not too sure about what's in the background, Ray.
Yeah, she sounds like she's like in an old Western, like where the cowboy comes into town and just needs a room for them. All right, you can stay here. We got one room. No one's been in there for 17 years, but it's yours if you want it.
All right, so speaking of old cowboy movies, it turns out Lisa was talking to or reconnected with a friend of hers from back in the day, and that person had some wrong information about Lisa Boswell.
It's amazing.
One friend of mine, he went to high school with me. His name is Mike Shalosky, and his wife, Susan. He told me, he goes, I'd heard that you died. I went, no, I don't think so.
I don't think I died.
I was talking to my friend.
I was talking to my friend.
She has to give out.
It's got like a little Forrest Gump-ish to it.
Sure, yeah. So it's Southern twang. I like that she has to, she's from South Carolina, lives in Connecticut now, but I like that she explains people that we don't know. No one could possibly know. Just people in her personal life. And she gives out their name and their spouse's name. I was talking to Michael. He thought I died. I died yet.
I'm not dead. I have a show on the internet. I have a typewriter. It's to my right. I met another transgender lady. Hangs out with me.
We live together. All right, so
We have flower dresses.
Ray, what you wouldn't know about this show, because you've only seen these 2 clips so far, is that it's a political show.
Oh, it's political?
It is. These 2 get on and they talk about how Trump is the worst person to ever exist. And if he is reelected to a second term, will most certainly turn into Adolf Hitler immediately. So that's kind of the basic premise of what their show is right now.
They're old enough to have seen the first Hitler, so they
Correct. Yeah, no, they were there. Correct. So this is hilarious because they're apparently not a fan of the Shuleys, but that's not the point of this clip.
Kevin Brennan's going to love this.
Kevin's going to love this clip. He's going to be all in on this one. But what I love about this...
They'll be on MLC tomorrow.
They might be.
What did you think of Ray DeVito sniping you?
Thanks for having us, Kevin. Can I read the next super chat? I got this one. All right, so what I love about this, though, is they go from this very serious political conversation, and the transition back into personal anecdotes is seamless. It's flawless. We could both learn something about broadcasting from Lisa Boswell.
Yeah.
Listen, I know this because I have a friend that used to fight for their army, the IDF. The Israelis are bad. They are bad.
Well, they have a secret service. It's probably the most badass group of secret operatives on the planet.
But anyway, Mike Chalosky, I was telling you about him. His mama used to work with me at Richway. I used to work at Richway. It was the only full-time job I could get.
Okay. Hugh Jesse says that's not the only seamless transition they've been through, Carl. Fair enough. Don't you love that? They're just like, yeah, the IDF. I mean, that's no fucking joke right there. But anyway, getting back to my friend who I ran into, I just wanted to let you know I used to work in this place, and that's how I met this person. So
I like how the one transgender lady doesn't even try to do a feminine voice at all.
No.
He's just talking the same way he did when he was at the saloon 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not buying it at all. And, sometimes he doesn't put a wig on. He has all different wigs. Sometimes he doesn't put a wig on, but he will put on the lipstick, and that's what's supposed to convince you. Yeah, just puts the lipstick on. You're like, oh, that's a lady right there. Okay, sure.
I thought that was Carla from Cheers at first.
He does have a weird Bill Maher vibe going for him, which I think Bill would be upset with me. Okay, so this is a amazing Lisa anecdote. I mean, the stories that she tells.
This was in 1976, 48 years ago. His mother worked at Ridgeway with me. Her name was Rita Shalosky. And she was a great woman. And my friend Petey Keller, who I played in the band with, that died, used to work with her. And the three of us used to go to lunch together all the time.
I love that story.
So Lisa just goes on and on about shit that no one could possibly care about.
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling a story about lunch in 1976 with people we don't know about? Like, what's the point of this?
She liked turkey sandwiches.
And then one time I ordered hot tea. Okay.
They didn't have Diet Coke back then, but she would have really liked Diet Coke.
So we got a tab. All right. Yeah, this is a fun just ISO for us.
I didn't die.
I didn't die. I'm still here.
I'm still alive, I think.
It's close. I'd like to get a professional on this to get their opinion on it before we determine anything, but I'll take your word for it, I suppose.
Anyway, Israel sucks.
So Lisa Boswell is going down this trip down memory lane for some reason. And it's funny because Helga will go off on these long stories about his past, and Lisa gets annoyed with it. But for whatever reason, like, Lisa's just on a roll on this one. And this is a weird thought to have right here.
But I started thinking about Mike, and Mike and I used to go to high school together. And I figured all the people that I figured in Mike's neighborhood, I could name you probably 10 different people, and none of those people became my friends. I would have bet the farm that they would be my friends. but they never
Name
were.
them. There was Cheryl.
Put him on
there was
blast.
Fred.
What a weird thing to think. Like, these people could have been my friends, but they weren't. This is decades ago. What are you talking about? Why are you bringing this up? It's not even a cool story. It's just depressing. But
I like how Helga, at least she went with like a name that's appropriate to her age on top of
Yes.
it. She's like, my name's Kayla now.
well, it's Helga, but the last name is Mann. I have Helga's book here.
Oh, you bought her book.
Well, Adam Thoreau sent it to me, and now because of the creep off, I have to do a book report on it as my consequence. But the point is that Helga seems appropriate, but the last name Mann might be even more appropriate. Just saying.
What's in the book? What's it about? What's the subject matter?
Let me read.
About all the people that she grew up with in her neighborhood.
Oh no, this is Helga. This is the other one. Everyone Gets Depressed is the name of the first chapter. Finding Helga. My family confronted me yesterday. They found Helga on Facebook. One of my son's friends told him about it. They told me to take it down. I refused. They still don't understand. They talk of scandal. They talk of Bible Belt retribution toward my daughter and her work as a school administrator. All right. Well, this is going to be fun.
All right.
This is going to be a fun read. Apparently,
you're accidentally doxing them just reading her book. She lives at this address.
Oh, no, I mean, apparently the family's not proud of Helga's transition is my takeaway from that, but
I'm Team Helga. I'm Team Helga on all this.
I'm Team Lisa Boswell. You can't stop me from loving Lisa. Lisa's the best, and more shout-outs here from Lisa.
I've got another person I would like to say hello to today. Bridget Brigman Lambros. She's married to a guy named Ron Lambros. He is a preacher there in the Atlanta area. And she is just the most beautiful person I've ever met. She grew up with me in my neighborhood. And,
it's like romper room for older transgender ladies.
I've seen all these people that I go, wow, I can't believe it.
It's almost like Lisa just discovered classmates.com. Like she clicked a banner ad, or maybe she just got on Facebook or something. She's like, did you know there's people from high school that I just got in touch with? Okay, cool. It's fun.
Frank, he accepted my friend request today.
Betty didn't. Betty's a bitch.
But her husband's all right.
Her husband, Steven, though. I used to like Steven. We would get lunch.
Yeah.
It's too much.
He works at Panera Bread.
Now, Ray, you're watching this and you're thinking like, okay, this is all just fun anecdotes. They're just recounting the days of their lives. No, there's serious things going on here. There's serious issues that they're dealing with. They're not only elderly trans women, but they're also addicted to weed, and their house is getting foreclosed on. So there's a lot going on in this clip, Ray.
Jesus.
Poor Lisa's out of weed.
Oh, it looks like I got to get some more weed.
Yep. You gotta get some more weed. I gotta make some more brownies.
I gotta make some more brownies. You get some more weed.
I gotta go to the bank and grovel again today because the loan officer wasn't there. So I gotta go to the bank and grovel. I need money to keep the house.
Oh, this is
Neglecting my taxes to keep my son operational. And
Yeah, it's getting real, isn't it, right now? Ray's just like, okay, now I can relate to this. This is not good.
I got a foreclosure notice in the mail. I don't like that. I may have to do
So you're going to borrow the money,
You got to borrow
pay
the money.
the entire note off.
Yeah, I figure I'd do it on a 4-year term and stop giving Tommy money, and then he'll get his head out of his ass and get a better job.
So what's crazy to me is that Helga here is 78 years old.
right.
Helga's looking for a bank loan so that she could keep her house. I don't know that. What kind of collateral do you have? What are we talking about here? Because
that typewriter? I got a
yeah,
typewriter.
right.
Does that
Like,
help?
how long is this loan period that we're talking about here? So I'm worried about this whole situation.
This
to be
could be
honest,
the last episode.
oh gosh. Well, or maybe it'll be fun. Maybe there'll be in a tent next time. They'll just be like, hey, so we're camping for the rest of our lives, and here's our show. That'd be fun.
Well, it sounds like they got family. She's talking about this deadbeat Todd. Who's this deadbeat Todd?
Well, that's Helga's son. And what happened is Helga owned this landscaping company, and Helga's son worked for that company under the table for 20 years. So now that the company is dissolved, he can't find work because he can't prove he worked anywhere. So his resume sucks.
That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it.
Which I don't even know if that's true. I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just telling you what they've reported back to me. But I don't know if that's true, because I would think that if you did something, you would just put it on your resume, and then they're like, can we verify this with the state? Like, are you going to? Like, what do you mean verify it with the state? Who cares?
Or you just put down your reference, the owner of the company, which would be Helga here.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, he worked for me. He did this, that, and the third.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Ray, if I could do it all over again, and I know that you have an MBA, and I'm proud of you for that.
You want it?
Well, this is what I was going to say. If I could do it over again, I got my bachelor's degree in marketing. I spent 4 years at college, and then I went out in the real world and got a job. I should have just waited 4 years and then wrote down on my resume BS marketing. Right. And no one would have questioned it. No one would have called the university to find out if I went there or not. I learned nothing. It was a waste of money. And I've realized now that you can lie on everyone lies on resumes. I mean, why not? What are you doing if you're not? The worst thing that happens is they go, oh, this isn't true, and then you don't get the interview.
Right.
But you probably won't get the interview anyway.
Yeah, I think about it. No one actually called, at least to my knowledge, called my colleges.
I mean, they might have just out of curiosity, like, this guy got a fucking MBA. Are you kidding me? There's no fucking way. They're all gathered around the speakerphone. They're like, all right, so do you have a record of a Raymond DeVito? They're like, yeah. It's like, holy shit, I lost a bet. Okay.
Yeah. Like 4 years after I worked there. Anyways, did this guy really get an MBA?
You've been there for a while.
And he couldn't
There's no fucking way this guy got an advanced degree.
He didn't have this.
All right, I have one more clip for you, because this is going back to their political talk, and they've been reporting a lot about the Trump trial that's been going on. And I have to give Lisa Boswell all of the credit in the world. Lisa hates Donald Trump, as I mentioned, thinks that Donald Trump is the next Hitler. They've said that once he gets elected, or if he gets elected, he's going to round up all the brown people, put them into concentration camps, like all this crazy shit. So I wouldn't think they'd have any sympathy for Donald Trump at all, but listen to this.
Change of heart.
I don't, something, I dislike him, but that's my own personal opinion. I dislike him, but I don't want him to go to jail, because I've been to prison and I know what that feels like.
Yeah, jail's no fun.
That's no fun.
Jail's no fun. Well, even the country club Lane County Jail in Eugene, Oregon, that was vacation.
And I'd remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like us.
An amazing transition out of that.
Go on the website and buy the books. I need the money.
What an amazing.
By the way, if I knew I was going to go to jail, I'll be transgender. I'll go to a women's prison instead. Like,
a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Why would you not at that point? Be like, I do identify.
It's hard to get away with, right? It's not as easy as it sounds, obviously. Yeah. Well, don't you think that the women's prison would be overpopulated, overloaded if that were the case?
Yeah. Well, how about I just don't go to prison? How about I just don't break the law and go to prison?
No. You'll go to prison for all of those heinous crimes you committed, but I think you actually could pass as a trans woman, right? So you got that going for you. So that's good news.
Yeah, man. Now I feel depressed about Helga's situation. Is she going to keep the house? This is how they keep you guessing. You got to come back next week and see if they're still there.
I feel bad, Ray, because I haven't played you since we've been covering them, and they're getting all these viewers and stuff. They've been a lot more upbeat. They've been very excited about it, very positive. So we're doing good things. They're feeling good about things. So I don't know if they're going to get foreclosed on or not. I'm worried about it too. Don't worry. I'm also worried about it. But I just thought that was really sweet of Lisa to even think that way, where it's like, Donald Trump is a giant piece of garbage, and I think he's probably the worst thing possible for this country, but I don't want him to go to jail. Jail sucks. Oh, can I tell you why? Can I tell you why Lisa spent a lot of time in prison?
Yeah.
So Lisa, back when Lisa was Robert Boswell, went around breaking into people's homes, over 20 homes, stealing the panties out of the dressers, and then jerking off with the panties.
Wow.
No.
She talks about all this?
Yes. Well, no, she talks about jail. Other people sent me the articles that tell me about this. She also played drums with Eddie Money. That's beside the point. There's a lot going on with these two. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Who are these podcasts?